This screencast is designed to help you evaluate sources for the 7th grade history research project. In other words, it will help you find reliable sources to gather information from on your topic. Locating a reliable source. So, first hint, use list of keywords from the keyword search you previously did to locate potential sources online. If you have not created the keyword search list, please do so, but you need those to place within the bar in the search engine in order to find sources. So do that first, but of course that's a good way to start, is making sure your keyword search lists are concise and what you want. Number 2, use KidRex as a search engine to find appropriate sources. Don't let the dinosaur discourage you. KidRex is a good search engine. It helps get rid of a lot of the commercial fluff or the stuff that's selling you something and make sure that you're finding exactly what you want. I actually use it frequently. 3, use the keyword plus site:/org, not Wikipedia though, it's not written by experts, site:/gov, site:/edu, or site:/ac, which means academic, to improve the quality of your search. If you put this in to your search bar, so the keyword plus this, then it's only going to find websites with an org, a gov, an edu, or an ac in it. These are reliable sources. Later on in this, I'll get into why commercial or .com is not what you're looking for. Finally, use quotes for exact phrasing. So if I want to find a source that has the exact phrase Chinese Exclusion Act in it, I will put quotes around the end of it. If I don't put quotes, then it's looking for a source that just has the word Chinese, exclusion, and act somewhere in it. So if you want this exact phrase, put quotes around it. All right, back to that .com thing. So something.com you want to avoid using. Doesn't mean you can't use it, but you want to avoid using it because .com means .commercial. That means it's selling you something and there's a higher chance that the information it's giving you is bias, so not factual. All right, www. That is an acronym that's going to help you find a reliable source. And this is when you've found the source, you can use www. To make sure the source is reliable and worth using. First question, W. Who wrote this source and what credentials do they have? I can see right here, it was written by Annette Atkins. If a person puts their name on the source, typically it's going to be a good source because they're putting their name on it. They're standing by it. Why was it written? Well, I can see this is on Dred and Harriet Scott in Minnesota, so I'm going to guess it's going to tell me about the Scotts and their tie to Minnesota, more than likely the court case, which parts of it were at Fort Snelling. When was it written? Well, I can't scroll down far enough to see it here. I don't see it up here, but I do know that MNOpedia is a really good resource. And I believe if I did scroll down, it would show me a date when it was most recently refreshed. So that means somebody went over it, made sure it was factual and up to date, and then they put a new date on there of when it was revised. The more current, the better. That means eyes just looked at it. Now we're on the D. Does it help meet my needs? Well, if I'm doing research on Dred and Harriet Scott, this is going to be an excellent source to use. Because when I'm looking up here, I know that MNOpedia is a .org, so it's not trying to sell me something, it's giving me information. And in addition to that, it is going to do what I want if I'm writing something or doing a research project on the Scotts and their ties to Minnesota. Oh, organization of the site. If I look at this site, I love the way it's organized. I got a picture showing the Scotts. I have a little caption describing the picture. I have an overview here written in a different colored font with links to Fort Snelling so I can get more information on that. And then I got the bulk of the information below that's going to tell me about the Scotts and their tie to Minnesota. Then over here I have more links that are related to this, as well as images that I can look up. So I love the layout of this. Plus it's got a search engine up here that I can search terms or keywords that are specific to this site. So this is a pretty well laid out site. That's going to tell me it's pretty solid along with the other items. And then T, to-do list for the future. Once I've found a source, I'm like, okay, well, I got the Dred and Harriet Scott and their ties to Minnesota, but I might want to know a little bit more about Dred Scott's biography, his whole life, or Harriet Scott's biography and her whole life. I may need another source for that. So I would write that down somewhere, that I'm going to need to look up something about their early life. So remember, not every source is going to meet all your needs, especially when you're doing research on a big topic. You're going to need to make to-do lists or things that you need to look up further. All right, let's take a look at this document. This is where you're going to go. It's on the same document as the keyword search list that you just created. It's just below it. And it gives you some general directions. Use their list of keywords to locate potential sources. So students need to use that keyword list first. You're going to find sources. You should be using KidRex. This reminds you to use cite:/gov, cite:/edu, etc. It tells you once again what the www. Stands for, so you can look and evaluate a source. Take a minute to do that to make sure it's a solid source. And then you want to look for any relevant information that you can then put into this table. I'm going to do this example for you. So I'm going to go through this process. All right. So here's my document, just to show you this. It's got a table of contents at the top. I've already done the search engine, or the keyword searches. So I'm going to go to my list of sources, and it's going to take me directly to that section from the table of contents. And in here, I'm going to put my topic, which is Chinese Exclusion Act. And from there, I'm going to go to KidRex. So I'm going to copy this. And then going to KidRex, I'm going to place it in here. And then I want to add something to it. I'm going to add cite:/gov. So I only want government sites. And I run my search. It's brought up a pretty good one right here at the top. So I'm going to click that one. And I don't really like the layout of this, but I do see that it's got a printer-friendly version. So I click that, and here it looks like as I skim it, it's giving me information on the Chinese Exclusion Act, when it was renewed in 1902. It's got an archive website. I could maybe click that and see if that takes me to the National Archives, which of course is renowned for its amount of sources and reliability. So that tells me that this is tied to something pretty good, and it's ourdocuments.gov. So this is pretty good information. So I'm going to jump back to this, and I'm going to include it as a source. So it's called ourgovernment.gov. I'm going to copy the URL. And this is and then here's the actual URL. And then the subtopic I'm dealing with is heart of the story. This isn't my background buildup or short-term, long-term impact. This is the event itself. So I'd fill that in, and you can see that by the end of this, by the time you get to 9, you're going to have more than likely 9 secondary sources. Then we'll start getting into those primary sources. Your job is for heart of the story, finish these first 3. You're just looking for 3 sources on the heart of the story. And this will be left up here to help guide you for what you need to place in there. So now you've completed your keyword search. Now you want to use that keyword search to start finding reliable sources and use the www. In order to find those reliable sources. All right, thank you.